Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Fucking hell. This whole thing, I'm muted. The whole time? The whole time! Alright. Let's start over. I honestly don't want to do this today. I am so not happy with the way things are right now. Charts. ZN. All right, so we had the big down day from the Federal Reserve meeting and a little bit of follow through on the next day, but they did reverse that. This morning we're down a little bit. I think there could still be some more bleeding in the treasuries. Like, ultimately, I think that the data supports another cut in December, and that ultimately this is all gonna like blow over, you know, in 2 months or whatever it is. And but in the meantime, there's probably going to be people that want to sell this. So S&P 500 throwing a bit of a fit at the end of the day, but then earnings come along and they recovered. Oil, maybe developing a new range there in oil, gold, and silver. Look like they might be recovering the bleeding, and you know, it looks like all of the smart money and like the momentum traders got cleaned out on this downturn. So if we build a base here, I really think we could see more highs, but we'll watch that end up being like completely dead wrong, and the gold and silver market just completely reverse and go lower, and it'd be dismal. Copper took a hit yesterday. See if they pull something out there. And the yen does not look good. The dollar, like we could be back to 100. It's so funny because they're like, oh, you know, the dollar lost so much value, but in my mind, 100 is like too high. So, and then Bitcoin, well, they reversed pretty significantly, but it's back to 1100 essentially. Hey, Paul says Trade of 8 is down right now. Well, that's because they don't have me. It's because they didn't hire me as a site reliability. Not that I ever saw a position to hire as a site reliability, but if I was a site reliability engineer, maybe they wouldn't be down. It's really curious to me because, you know, there are, I think, some decent, you know, benefits to using a service like Tradeovate. But the big downside, one of these DOMs here is like, the downside is that if it goes down, there's nothing you can do. I think if you want the faster execution, you get the VPS. Yeah, it does. Well, I mean, it feels like it's been a while, but I definitely remember there was a period when it had problems a ton. Okay. So, Uzi, when you get a second, I have a question about what you sent me last night. I compiled it. Good. But it doesn't show up on the indicator list. Oh, that's so weird. Okay, so wait. Oh yeah, by the way, where is mine? Scraped it. It says 4.46 today. That can't be right. Oh, how come it's not telling me the... $4.46, and yesterday it was 4.4. Damn. That sucks. Okay, but you can't even find it to add it. So it should show up in the speculator Seth folder as cached projected range. It just doesn't show up at all. It's not in the little indicator folder. But the one that I gave you before did. Or is it like an 8.1-ish? Not quite sure what to think here. Can you, how about this? Show me a picture of that folder. Let's see, what else we got? Paul, good morning. Andre, good morning. Ray. Yeah, S&P moved up in the overnight. This is because, like, I think Amazon was bad, but the others were good. I can't remember. One of them was bad, and the others were good for the earnings. So I really think it was earnings. That has me a little cautious this morning. Yeah. Oh, those were just captions. Oh, yeah. That's great. That's exactly what I was saying. That's very good, Andre. You know what? I just stopped doing this. You can take over the stream. Man, I am just like so freaking burnt right now. As yesterday. What was the issue that I was having? Oh, it was like there was some of the there were a couple of things on my machine that weren't working. Like I had to completely reinstall the application. It was like my audio production software, and there was like this one folder that would not delete, and I had to like go and make a boot disk and go onto the recovery boot disk and go and delete the file manually because the operating system wouldn't let me. And every little thing that didn't work, I was just like, I felt like I was gonna explode. Right? Like that is a nervous system that's completely shot. And then this morning, I'm in the shower and I'm looking through LinkedIn to see if there was any new jobs posted that I missed. And my old job from a year ago that I got fucked over on is up again. So I'm sitting here like that doesn't fucking help. Because I'm applying and anybody might go through and be like, well, okay, they do some research. Oh, well, that said that they laid off here, but now that's hiring again. Oh, maybe you should go and work there again. No thanks. The way that went down, man. I think I'm just fucked. Like, I think that it's gonna be really, really fucking hard find another job in the software industry under current economic conditions, and that it's probably going to be a couple of months. And I saved up some, but I'm going to have to use that savings. Yeah, just show me a picture of the list, because I'm not saying that like I think it's there and you're not seeing it. I just want to see which other ones you have. But it's really, really bizarre to me that the old one would show up and the new one doesn't. CMMA. I don't even remember what CMMA is. No, the old one was deleted, so it's right. Yeah, so, but why? That was the thing that he made for the market analyzer? Oh, maybe you're right. I just don't remember that. Watch, I'm gonna pull up the code for it. Oh yeah, that. Apparently, it's like where you are relative to the midband. Okay. I don't feel like I should be including that one in the, because I haven't documented it. So like there are some things. Yeah, well, like maybe I would have included it in a package and I didn't. Like it should be marked as alpha or something like that if we're not gonna, yeah. Anyways, there are some things in there. Like for instance, oh wait, what's this? Oh yeah, that's the base. There, I have a base class and a cached indicator base class that it inherits from. Do you have, you don't, probably don't have a SPS base though. Like it's probably pulling SPS base from the DLL, which I was kind of like, I'm not sure if that will work or not, right? Oh, are we gonna come up and hit the upside range target right away? I think I have the camera a little bit too high. Anyways, so I was kind of worried that because of the way that works, that the indicator wouldn't work for you. But if that was the case, it wouldn't compile. So can you try this? Open up the editor and click the compile button. There's got to be an error like that. The old one compiled and this one's not actually compiling, and you just didn't notice or something. Like you open up a NinjaScript editor window and you click this little button with the down arrow on it that says compile. You compiled it again and it's fine. And it still doesn't show up on the indicator list, eh? Negatory. Does it show up on the regular list, maybe? Does. Wait, so you're saying that it's just down in, it's not in the folder part, it's down in here? As SPS cached indicator base? That's also kind of a little bit weird. How does that work? Oh, if it shows up in the file list. Yeah, okay. Weird. This is quite the puzzle. Do you use the CMMA? You have it on your analyzer. Okay. All right, I will leave it in there. I don't remember what it was about. Even when I read the code, I'm a little bit like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. Close minus my bands of 0. I think that just should tell you whether it's above or below the moving average, right? Dude, if that upside move is already over, that does not spell good news for the Treasury market. Yeah, it shows you the difference between price and the moving average. So it'll go positive or negative, essentially. So that you can color it as green or, red or blue or whatever you want. Like I'm just trying to figure out why it would be doing that. I think the solution here is probably to repackage everything, Well, I'll tell you what. I feel that the fair value gap one works. Let's move it. I'll do it by hand over here. Maybe you just didn't put it in the right spot. I don't know. Fair value gap. Do that one. Do you have any other raw files that start with SPS? Just checking if there's ones we need to delete. Dude, I have so many of these. It's really... quite crazy how many I have. And then I also want VWAP typical. Do I have? No, that's regular. Oh, VWAP typical isn't free, isn't it? I've added too many things in here where like I didn't make notes about it. So like I have an SPS VWAP. I must have made it for somebody so that and it looks like it inherits from cached indicator base. Doesn't have all of this stuff, so it probably shouldn't be in there, but I guess we're gonna put it in there. I just don't like their thing that I have to skip all of the free ones. So why do I have that SPS range histogram free? Where does VWAP bands come? See if it goes. Nope. It's gonna give me an error. Oh. Oh, I'm missing one thing. I need the news event. What? something's being added in there that shouldn't be. What am I doing here? Oh, because I'm including the CCMA one. See? Oh, am I? Yo, you know what? I don't think that I have my news squawk on. No, I don't. Trump administration has made the decision to attack military installations inside of Venezuela. Are you kidding me? That is pretty wild. Like, this is gonna be interesting to see how people react to, because I'm not surprised. They've kind of been talking that way, but like, I just feel like that this one feels a little too brazen. You know what I mean? Like George Bush, he goes into Iraq, and it did kind of feel like, well, really, you just want to go back into Iraq because you didn't feel like you finished the job the first time. But, you know, they had this whole argument about weapons of mass destruction and all of this sort of a thing. This one is like, oh, did somebody say it earlier? I'm sorry. But this one is like, he really just wants the oil. Am I wrong? And a part of his appeal to his base is that he doesn't start wars. So if he starts a war in Venezuela, well, I guess that's not really starting a war. I really think that CMMA should be not in there. I'm gonna move it to alpha. Yes. Yeah. You don't need it. Yeah. The issue with that one is that I'm relying on somebody else's indicator to make it work. So to really include it in there, I would need to make something that has like all of the different moving average types in it, and which it would maybe make sense for me to include, but it's just a lot of tedious work. Okay, well, I'm going to give you the new version of the compiled assembly and hope that it fixes the problem. Now, as for this, oh, we have the Fed member that dissented, Logan. Oh no, Logan was not the guy that dissented, was it? get rid of this down here. I don't think you should have to shut down NinjaTrader, but you will. You might have to unload the previous version of the assembly. So it might do weird things to your charts. It's okay. You don't have to test it now. I don't think this market's going anywhere, though. Are you trying to take a trade? Yes, and unemployment claims have stayed low, although I am mindful of recent layoff announcements. It's really frustrating to be told, you know, unemployment is low, layoffs are low, and be kind of in the market for essentially a year. I mean, I had a 6-month contract in there, but I never stopped looking. Wow, this morning the FBI thwarted a potential terrorist attack and arrested multiple subjects in Michigan who were allegedly plotting a violent attack over Halloween weekend. When I look back at the trades I've taken since I started projecting the ranges and how when we go outside the projected ranges in the 2-year and I trade it, I always miss the timing. They're not wrong. They're just early. It has happened to me a couple of times too, where like I got into it, it didn't go, so I gave up on it or whatever. And then long afterwards, it did come back in. See, when it comes to making a day trade, short-term trade, what you really need to really have a high hit rate or whatever is you need something that really says that new orders are going to come in. Like new orders are going to come in now. And what does that? I don't think there's anything technical that does that, right? So it helps. It's like a big improvement, but it doesn't solve the true fundamental challenge with short-term trading, which is being able to accurately predict future orders on a short time frame. We can have an inkling that future orders are going to come through, but like, is it actually going to happen in the next 5 minutes? I don't think we could get our hands on that. It's obviously a piece of information, but how do we even begin to find that info? Well, I mean, I think that a lot of the time that we do, though. I mean, when we've been trading well, like the thing that really frustrates me with all this is that before I got laid off, you know, there was a period there where we were getting a lot of good information like that, you know, and then after I got laid off, there was still a little bit of that. Now, this market just seems like a desert, doesn't it? Like what I can't think of. It's been a while since I came in here and I was like, well, because this, and this, I think that they're going to buy or I think that they're going to sell, you know? is just this market, and I think part of it is the shutdown, but part of it is I feel like this market is just burnt out, man. Like they're just so tired of getting jerked around by Donald Trump at this point that right? It's kind of shitty. It's like winning trades are too good to be true, so we cut ourselves short while losing trades still have a chance. So like the really frustrating thing to me here is that I need a day job. I am really struggling to find a day job in this market. And it might be several months before I'm able to find a day job in this market. So what can I do? Well, I have this YouTube channel. I'm a pretty good trader. But then when I come in and it's like, well, I can always trade. Maybe I can open a Combine account. I probably could have a good chance. Like within 2 or 3 Combines, I should be able to pass the Combine. All of this sort of a thing. Well, 1, they don't let me trade the instrument that I want to trade. But 2, this market just sucks. This market just sucks. So then that kind of leaves me back to like, I think the only really good like existing asset that I have to make money is the YouTube channel. And I feel like at this point I've tried just about everything. You know, like I don't know what I would do differently. I'm sure there's something that I do differently. But I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm smart enough to figure it out, you know? Now I'm kind of getting to the, well, I guess I need to start new things. But I don't know what I would do or how I would start that. I suppose one of my ideas that I've had is that I would really like to push the hardware review stuff out of this channel because it does too well. And I'm worried that it hurts the other content. And make it, because it does so well, I should just make a channel off of that. And I did do the whole thing with the chair. I have a bunch, well, actually I lost that footage. Never mind. I lost that footage, so I don't know if I can use that footage, but that's one idea. But yesterday, I looked a little bit into the trading platform and had some issues. And I kind of gave up on it and did some music. That's another one. But that's like even a bigger pipe dream than day trading, I feel. You know? So it's just so exhausting for everything to be a complete shit show. And then you come on here on Twitter or whatnot, listening to these central bank guys and whoever, all saying everything's great. It's not great. This economy is a complete fucking disaster. I'm tired of people saying that it's fine. It's not fine. It's not just me. There's like 5 to 10 million people in the same situation. The number of people that have been unemployed more than 6 months is now 1/4 to 1/3 of that group of people. Not to mention all of the people that are underemployed or dropped out of the market altogether. And everybody else that has a job but is clinging onto it with dear life and having difficult paying for everything. And they say everything's fine. Just It's doing great with so much growth, though, right? Didn't they add a new truck stop and a Dollar General near you? That means all sorts of growth. Yeah. And then you ask, okay, maybe my industry is just cooked. Where is the so having somebody? Okay, so we're having this discussion in Discord last night, and I was speculating again about this issue with AI spend. That maybe the nature of the technologies that we're facing now require us to have a fundamentally lower rates. And I was, part of this was saying like, look, there's people in these industries, they can't get jobs. And the guy I was arguing with in Discord was like, well, that's their fault for not being productive. It was such a callous and stupid thing for them to say. What's this? We'll set a private message. I'm getting this weird sound. I don't think I want to work for a prop firm. There's somebody chat saying one of the prop firms appears to be hiring a remote engineer. It is better to trade live. So one of the things is I have I'm not gonna say a huge wad, but like a reasonable wad that I'm kind of saving up. But I think that I need to like just be careful with it. So like one of the frustrating things is that the 6-month contract job really, really hurt the stream. Like revenue went down and everything. So we didn't really build up much of a reserve over there. So it's getting close because I haven't really been trading much at all. Like live trading, not much at all. And so it's been drawing down just from the data costs, and it's getting time to refund that with the data costs. And I would like to just put a few $1,000s in there and trade ZN live so that it's easier to pay for the data feeds and everything. But, I'm concerned with the job situation and everything that I need to keep that reserve just in case. So, actually, I haven't checked on that in a while. I'm kind of in the mode of I don't want to look at bank accounts. Oh man, that's actually lower than I thought it was. May just need to drop the oh, well, how come I haven't gotten Google? Oh no. It's probably that the revenue has gone down so much that I only get a Google one every other month now. That's what it is. In other words, we're slightly cash negative now, maybe? Anyways. I also didn't get any Jigsaw affiliates during that 6-month period either. Oh, well, there is. Yeah, they changed the PayPal interface. Don't like it. This is not the one that I thought it was. Yeah, okay. I hadn't done the transfers, so we're actually are right about where I thought we would be. I maybe shouldn't spend $50 a month though on a mailing list management that I never use. I think they must have changed the cost of it or something. Yeah. This is really like when the volatility is low and they can't even get to the volatility target. This is a terrible market, man. Another thing that sucks is that I know that sitting and complaining about it doesn't help, right? It's just It's just depressing. Oh, the 2s and the 5s have? Well, what? It's really the 10-year that matters, though. Like, it's just. You're right. The 5-year moved a lot more. This comes back to this whole thing that I can get rid of this and this. And I can put. Oh, where'd it go? Not that it's all that much in terms of stick picks, but they still went. Well, it could mean that the Treasury is just gearing up and that they're going to bust these highs and make a reasonable recovery. Let's hear. What's this from Mohammed El Arian? The minutes from this week's meeting due out in a few weeks should make for very interesting reading. Per this Bloomberg reporting, the divide among top Fed officials appears wider than indicated on Wednesday. And what's the headline? While Logan doesn't vote on monetary policy this year, she participates in the Federal Open Market Committee discussions and will rotate onto the voting panel in 2026. 2 Fed officials voted against the decision at this Fed's meeting, with Jeff Schmidt. Yes, Schmidt was the one that said, preferring to keep rates steady, and Moran dissenting for a second straight meeting in favor of a larger half-point cut. Lori Logan said she does not support the U.S. Central Bank's decision to cut interest rates this week and will likely find it appropriate to hold rates steady at the next meeting because inflation remains too high. I'm really concerned on that one that, like, we're holding interest rates high for inflation that we can't do anything about. My concern is volume in options is exploding, so now I'm only getting 1 trade a week. Exploding, like increasing a lot? Why would more volume in options mean less trades? I don't understand. The top story on Zero Hedge is about the German activists seeking asylum in the U.S. after Antifa death threats. Las Vegas slowdown deepens as gamblers reject. Like, everything I see, like, that is recession indicator. Lower ATR. Okay. Yeah, by the way, this whole thing about military attacks on Venezuela is it's not a coincidence that it's happening on a Friday. They like to put that stuff out on a Friday to bury it. They will seek to destroy military installations used by a drug trafficking organization. Oh, what? Okay. I don't know if I buy that. Okay. Watch. If there's a tax, it's going to be super popular to push against it. And if you had said anything like that during Biden's administration, that would probably, get you put on the social media naughty list. Trump administration has demolished my local high school's budget, but that's none of my business. What? It affects high schools? One of the weird things that's happening is watching all of the people that are getting laid off from Amazon. They're all flooding into Reddit and talking about it. And they all feel really bad. What Elon Musk says, there will be universal high income, not merely basic income. It really bothers me that there's all of these big tech oligarchs out there seemingly making this decision about where our society goes economically when they have absolutely no fucking clue what they're talking about. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Yesterday, Donald Trump made this really long tweet. I was really expecting Trump to tweet about the Federal Reserve, but maybe they've convinced him to stop talking about it. I don't know. But he made a really, really long post about how they should use the nuclear option on the Senate filibuster to end the government shutdown. So isn't it curious how all of the sudden he wants to end the shutdown, he wants to make a deal with China and basically get like a ceasefire for nothing. Right? He was basically said, we'll get rid of the extra tariffs if you crack down on fentanyl. Which, like, China always said that they were doing but didn't do. And, like, all of these sorts of things. Right? So, I think that what's happening is that all of a sudden Donald Trump is concerned about the midterms. And he wants to juice the economy and get everything looking nice for the midterms for some reason. By the way, first 5 minutes of the spoos has been not so good. Yeah, I forgot about that. Hindenburg Omen was triggered as well. But wasn't, let's see here. Like, I vaguely remember the Hindenburg Omen being triggered in the recent past and nothing happening. Yeah, no, it got triggered in 2024. Anyways.
Block by.
Okay, there we go. They busted that. Is that gonna touch? I kind of feel like maybe we shouldn't put it on this chart. Well, I can leave it there, but let's put it on this chart. Okay, 26. So they touched it. Also, since I kind of made some fixes to the market order imbalance and everything, then you get to the, a 10-minute is just, there's just too much noise in it. So I think we can stop tracking that one. What the heck? I'm not going to show you guys, but I came across her on Reddit. This girl is rinsing her clogged sinuses for the first time. And the amount of snot that came out of her nose was unreal. I felt like that push of the new high was really encouraging, but it died back down really quickly, didn't it? Hmm. kind of a weird thing on Reddit. I'm seeing Jerome Powell says the AI hiring apocalypse is real. Job creation is pretty close to zero. And he did say that, but he also said a lot of other things that kind of suggested that he doesn't see that as a problem. Like, if the AI hiring apocalypse is real, you should be lowering interest rates more aggressively. Everyone is saying AI, but what they really mean is recession. Another downtick. Oh, what's this? From the Santa Fe Institute. In the 1980s and 90s, SFI played laboratory to... That's the Santa Fe Institute. Played laboratory to a promising new method known as agent-based modeling. Instead of relying on averages and unrealistic mathematical assumptions, these models were built from the ground up to account for individual differences and complex interactions. In the ensuing decades, agent-based models proliferated across many fields. In economics, they advanced from little computer dots roving on a sugary landscape to complex models of housing bubbles, national supply chains, and the economic impact of COVID-19. But mainstream economics largely sidelined ABMs, which until recently were typically highly stylized, studying a generic economy at a generic point in time rather than a specific economy at the present moment, and thus were limited in efficacy. In the background, economic microdata has exploded, not benefiting traditional economic models built for averages, yet imbuing agent-based models with potent predictive ability. Add in the exponential growth of computing power, and agent-based models may soon transform the future of economic policy. To supercharge wider use of agent-based models in economics, the Santa Fe Institute hosted a month-long working group, the longest ever held at the institute. The new Gurley Forum, opened in April, made the experimental format possible. Economic agent-based models crossing over the tipping point. Brought together economists, central bankers, computer scientists, social scientists, physicists, and other researchers from August 4th to the 29th, supported by the Zucker Family Foundation and the Ami DR Network. Mainstream economic models have not been able to solve some big problems. What causes inflation? What determines interest rates? What are the main factors behind recessions? What forces drive inequality? Says why do I keep saying Santa Fe Institute. Says Santa Fe Institute external professor J. Doyne Farmer. At the Santa Fe Institute Working Group, we developed an approach to building agent-based macro model that could finally resolve these paradoxes. Farmer organized a working group to fill in gaps and expand the real-world impact of agent-based models. For example, participants demonstrated why agent-based models could help economists better understand vexing issues, including supply chain dynamics, job vacancies, unemployment, and the green energy transition. As a result of the Santa Fe Institute Working Group, we can see our way to creating a model of a whole country's economy and software, says SFI external faculty fellow Rob Atwell. Who is that? I will find him on LinkedIn later. Leading mainstream economists from institutions like Columbia, Johns Hopkins, Cambridge, and l'Hôpital François de Conjectures Économiques participated in the meeting. Was my French absolutely terrible there? Okay. Addressing a major gap in the use of agent-based models, representatives from central banks of Italy, Canada, Hungary, and Chile also attended, sharing why they have adopted agent-based models for certain purposes. Yeah, too bad it's not in the US. We saw some of the first examples of agent-based modeling competing directly with the conventional approach, says Axtel. In the last year or two, several countries have built high-quality agent-based models for central banks and policymakers to use because they're so good at ingesting microdata instead of statistical averages. The month-long meeting format allowed for intensive collaboration between established experts and the next generation of interdisciplinary and social science researchers. Participant Gordon Kemp recently completed a PhD working with SFI external professor and science board member Louis Betancourt, and is now an Oxford postdoctoral fellow. At the meeting, he appreciated conversations on how to navigate the intersection between complexity science and economics. It's not so often that economists talk to people who study agent-based models. We are all asking the same questions in very different ways, and at the working group, we actually made progress towards finding compatibilities between complexity and classical economics. Finally, participants explored machine learning techniques such as large language models, or LLMs, that can vastly improve the predictions of agent-based models. We can now encode agents in agent-based models with the rich priors of LLMs, which allows agent behavior to adapt fluidly to context, says participant Valencia Semenova, an International Monetary Fund economist. At the working group, we talked about early successes like multi-agent LLM systems that study political polarization. We are only scratching the surface of what these cognitively enhanced agents can reveal about the real world. This is the thing that I'm like hyper interested in, is multi-agent LLM systems to simulate a particular thing and then figure out why certain things go the way that they do. Speakers presented examples such as LLMs that simulate individual responses to impending environmental disasters and cocktail parties of LLM agents bumping into each other and exchanging ideas. In the 1990s and early 2000s, agent-based models played an important role in helping understand the underlying generative mechanisms that animate economic systems, but they struggled to produce tactical insights on specific interventions, says SFI Vice President for Applied Complexity Will Tracy. Recent advances in AI data and compute have fueled new agent-based models capable of guiding policymakers. This extraordinary working group is doing the intellectual work needed to make modern agent-based modeling available to a larger cohort of decision makers. Organizers launched several new work streams with plans for publications next year because agent-based models can include so much detail. They address the heterogeneity of our society much better than traditional models, says Farmer. After 4 decades of progress, we now have the computing power and most of the data we need. The time is right for agent-based models to play a role in economic policy. I was hoping they were going somewhere like these were the key insights that we get. But I'm not seeing that. JP Morgan unit invests in Texas Stock Exchange. It's gonna be really wild if like Mamdani wins. That's like next week, right? If Mamdani wins and chases all of the exchanges out of New York and Texas becomes the new center of finance, like that would be insane. If I haven't seen any recent polls, but the earlier polls did suggest it was very likely that he would win, huh? But there's been a couple of controversies. I don't know. It's maybe it's still possible they beat him. Leftists are immune to controversy? I felt like the well, I mean, I don't know if it's like, you know, are leftists immune to controversy. It really has more to do with New York, and I'm not sure I know how that sort of stuff goes. Hey, look, there's another new high. It's kind of odd the way, well, shouldn't say odd. This is something that the Treasury does. I haven't seen it recently, but I definitely remember it in the past and being really frustrated by it. That like It'll go nowhere. It'll go nowhere. It'll bust a new high. And then it'll go nowhere. It'll go nowhere, and it'll bust a high. And every time that it busts a new high, it happens like really quickly. But it looks like they want to move a little bit further. So let's see if they get to the extended session target. Then a lot of those finance. So yes, especially Miami. But I would say that movement is kind of more of an exploratory thing. You know, the center is still very much so in New York. I would also say like what I'm saying is kind of like a crazy edge case scenario sort of a thing. Like, yeah, Mamdani probably is going to win. He's probably going to be a disaster, but the mayor can only do so much. And I don't know if the mayor can actually make it big enough changes to like chase the financial institutions out, right? Probably more likely what happens is just that the housing crisis over there gets worse. Housing crisis gets worse. Finding food there gets worse. More Jews leave. The mayor can't really do it. Well, they do. I mean, the mayor does a lot. It's just not the things that we typically think about. And it's probably not the things that he talks about, right? Like, there's going to be a lot of things that they're like, well, we should do this and we should do that. And he can't change any of that, right? Yeah. Yeah, he will release more violent criminals from jail and ruin assorted public service. Yeah. The whole like releasing people from jail thing. Oh man, that upsets me. I just don't read the stories about that anymore cuz there's been so many of these stories this year. You know, this guy, he's been arrested like 200 times and he was out on bail and then went and killed somebody. You know, like, it's just crazy. I want you to stop reading the... Okay. I'm having a hard time here, Farex. Like understanding why being perpetually agitated about an issue that I can't do anything about would be good for me though. Like let's pull back. Seems a little deeper, but it's not. The previous one was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a story here on Reddit. Jane Street accidentally invited me to the final round interview. Man, what? Our sincerest apologies, but somehow this email somehow reached you in error. Unfortunately, you will not be moving ahead with your candidacy following the initial interview. We'll keep her information on file. I guess we're staying around for the next hour, huh? Might as well. Do you think maybe we will get another push? The S&P 500 is still, a little sus. I think today will be another down day for the equities. How white-collar workers could fuel a new populist movement on the left. Yeah, I'm sure that'll work. Kamala Harris goes on expletive-laden rant about Trump's donation-fueled ballroom. You know what the problem with the ballroom is, right? Is that it will always be there. It'll always be there, and it will be like one of the grandest, most famous structures in America. And every time that they hold an event there, the leftists are going to have to sit there and think about how much they hated Donald Trump and how much they hated that he built that ballroom and all of this stuff. Do you think that a future Democrat president might have them tear down the ballroom and build something in its place? And then another Republican will come in and tear that down and build the ballroom back? Like that could happen, but I actually think that probably they will find it really useful and they won't get rid of it. That first party that they end up having at that ballroom, that is gonna be a party. It'd be like in the future, instead of saying let's party like it's 1999, they'll say like let's party like the White House ballroom just opened up. It's gonna be a thing, right? I wish I could go to that party. I would love to go to that party. If you're listening, Donnie, well, here I'm submitting my candidacy to attend the first party at the White House ballroom. And it's like the left, they'll never get over it. They'll never get over it. For the rest of our lives, you'll have to hear them complain about how Trump built the White House ballroom. Because they're never going to admit, like, actually, it was a good idea. I'm glad they're never going to say that, right? Because the left hates beautiful things, man. Nah, I think that it's just a media hysteria. Man, this story about the AI hiring apocalypse is real. Every subreddit. Oh yeah, I forgot about this whole thing. The OpenAI is talking about IPOing at a $1 trillion valuation. So does this mean that it is no longer a nonprofit? Oh, I forgot we had Chicago PMI. 43.8 versus the expected 42. Treasuries are really just completely ignoring it, huh? Well, you know what? I think I'm just gonna end it, man. There's nothing going today. It's a Friday. Let's just end it early on a Friday. And I think I'm trying to do Rust stuff today. See if I can stick with it. All right. As I will see you next week. Stay